Hi, I'm Daphne Richards. Our question this week addresses the subject of pesticides. Now, I bet the first thought that jumped into your mind when I used that word, pesticide, was negative and chemical focused. But when you think of organic pesticides, you may feel less apprehensive, which is why this subject is vitally important. The word organic lulls many people into a sense of complacency. But a fact that most people don't realize is that organic pesticides are quite often more toxic than their synthetic counterparts. For example, rotenone, an acutely toxic pesticide, is derived from the roots of certain plants in the Leguminosae, or bean family. So it's an organic product. Neem oil is another example of an organic product that can be highly toxic if used improperly. These organic pesticides definitely have their place in our anti-pest arsenal, but they should still be used judiciously and carefully, perhaps even more so than many synthetic products. When confronting garden pests, most commonly insects, first be aware. Perhaps like Raquel, whose son Nick took these wonderful photos, your cilantro has bolted and is now covered in aphids. You may be tempted to spray it with pesticide to keep those aphids from moving onto your other plants. Or maybe you're more eco-conscious and you think about simply removing those plants and tossing them. But before you do anything, check to see if there are any beneficial ladybugs present. Usually aphid populations don't hop from one plant to another indiscriminately, so there's little to worry about there. And usually, a high population of aphids in late spring, when cilantro is bolting, serve as prime feeding grounds for ladybugs and their larvae. You might even refer to a clump of aphid-infested plants as a ladybug nursery. So before you act, check the situation closely, and do nothing at all might be your answer. Another important thing to point out is that many pesticides are what are known as broad spectrum, meaning that they kill many different insects, not just your particular target pest. Products may also drift in even the slightest wind, potentially wreaking havoc in your pond or a nearby stream. Fish, bees, butterflies, and birds are particularly susceptible to accidental drift of pesticides, so please be very careful and consider just letting nature take its course. Our plant this week is snake herb, a species whose Latin name even I have trouble pronouncing, Dioscoridae linearis. This wonderful plant has delicate, hairy leaves and lovely, petite purple flowers that attract butterflies, not snakes. It's amazingly drought-tough, low water use, and native. You may see it listed as full sun, where it does great, but it's also very happy in shady spots, which can be trickier for many gardeners. The flowers stay tucked into the leaf axils, so you may barely notice them, but butterflies definitely will. Snake herb does spread a bit, making it great for areas in the garden that you may be leaving a little more natural. Less managed, manicured areas of the garden are great habitats for native insects and wildlife and can be quite beautiful over multiple seasons, not just in spring, when most of the rest of the garden may be in its full splendor. Our viewer pick this week comes from Robin of her tiny cucumbers. You can even see the little tiny bumps on them. These are definitely female flowers giving your fruit. In your garden this week, it's time to do a second round of summer vegetables like corn, peppers, and tomatoes. We'd love to hear from you, so please visit us at klru.org/ctg and send us your questions and pictures from your garden.